This Monkey Finance Explainer channel already made over 16K, and all they're really doing is uploading 5-minute faceless YouTube videos. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how they're doing it step by step, and how you can copy the same exact strategy to build your own faceless YouTube channel that could make you a couple $1,000s every single month. I'll show you how to generate drawings like theirs using AI, how to put together a full animated video, and even how to create thumbnails and custom characters using free tools. But that's not all, because I'm also going to expose the 2 secret methods they're using, and I'm using 2 to have RPMs higher than average, which can sometimes go up to $18. I'm not just talking here. I've actually built channels myself that made thousands following these strategies, with a single video making me 19.3 thousand euros. And the only reason I was able to do that is because I knew a few things that I'm about to share with you in this video. Without wasting any more time, the first thing to do to get started is to figure out the strategy of the channel. And by strategy, I just mean deciding what your channel is actually going to talk about. You need to pick one specific topic, something that your whole channel will be based around. This could be stuff like bodybuilding, looks maxing, self-improvement, finance, whatever you want. But there's one very important thing to keep in mind, is that not all topics are equal. Some of them make way more money than others. And this is where your RPM comes into play. Because if you choose the right kind of topic, you can get crazy high RPM as big as it sounds like. To do that, you just need to follow 2 simple things. First, if you want high RPM, the topics in your videos should mainly target a US audience. That's simply because advertisers pay way more to get in front of Americans. Why? Americans have got higher purchasing power than any other country, which means they are way more likely to actually buy something off the internet. And that same rule applies to other places like the UK, Canada, and Australia. On one of my own channels, I've had videos with super high US audience, and that's exactly how I got a crazy RPM like $9 and even $18. So all you have to do is go with topics that mainly appeal to a US audience, stuff like the US economy, American history, or even American culture, etc. The second thing to do if you want a higher RPM is that your content needs to appeal to older people. That's because older audiences have more money to spend, so advertisers are willing to pay more just to reach them. And that's why the viewers from older people equal higher RPMs. But even to get that high RPM in the first place, your channel has to be monetized. If you didn't know already, to join the YouTube Partner Program, you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours in the last 12 months. For most people, that can take up to half a year just to even start making money, which straight up sucks. I faced that problem too when I was starting out, and I still get tons of DMs asking about this exact issue right now. So after digging around for a while, I found a way around it, and it's that you can actually get a pre-monetized account and skip the whole process. These are accounts that were organically grown and already monetized, so you can start earning as soon as you get the views. And to get one, there are sites like Monetized Profiles and a few others that offer these accounts to people. I won't go too deep into that here, it's just for people that ask for a fast solution to this problem. But if you want an entire video on pre-monetized accounts, just let me know in the comments below and I'll make a video on it. Anyways, the niche I'm going to use for this tutorial is American history. That way, I'm targeting both Americans and older people who love history. So we're hitting that sweet spot. So now that the niche is decided, the next step is setting up the branding of your channel, just like these ones did. The branding of these channels is super unique and clean, but we can easily make something similar using AI. So here's the plan. We're going to use their drawings as a reference and feed them into ChatGPT to generate a similar image based on whatever animal you decide to go with. So first, let's choose the animal. As you can see, these channels went with monkeys and gorillas, but you don't need to copy that. Instead, you can go with something different like a horse, a lion, a wolf, or literally any other animal that you like. Once you got your animal picked, we're going to use AI to generate your own custom version in the same exact style. We're going to need this for the profile and for the editing part later on in the video. So here's what you do. Take the picture I left in the step-by-step document you'll find with the link below. Download it and drop it into a new chat with ChatGPT. Then paste the prompt I gave you, which will make sure the new image has the same style as the original. After you hit generate and wait a bit, this is what you'll get. Looks very clean and we didn't have to draw anything. Now the only thing left is the channel name and banner. Now I'm not going to waste your time and show you how to do that too because look, I have them all done in 2 minutes. So now that your branding is ready, it's time to come up with the topics for your channel. Now when it comes to picking content ideas, you don't need to sit there thinking for hours. To make it simple, I'm just going to use ChatGPT and let it do the work for me. So first, go ahead and copy this next prompt from the document and paste it into a new ChatGPT chat. Before you hit send though, make sure to fill in the blank by writing down the kind of content your channel is about so ChatGPT knows exactly what ideas to give you. Once you hit generate, ChatGPT will give you a whole list of topics you could use. So all you have to do is go over them and pick the topic you want to get started with. Once that's done, you're now ready to move on to the next step, which is writing the script for that topic. Again, ChatGPT is our best friend here, and we're going to use it to write the script too. So go ahead and copy the next prompt into a new ChatGPT chat. But before you send it, there's one important step to make sure we get the best possible results. You're basically going to give ChatGPT a reference script from one of the videos on this channel. That way, it can look at the writing style and give you something similar. Now, don't worry, you're not copying it word for word. You can just use the NextLev extension, and with one click, it'll copy the full script from any video on that channel. Lastly, paste that into your prompt, then send it. And just like that, you'll get a full custom script written for your video. Once everything's looking good, you're ready for the next step, and that is generating a sexy voiceover for your script. For this part, you don't have to worry about recording the voiceover yourself, because even if your voice isn't that good, you can still generate voiceovers that sound very human and realistic using this AI tool called ElevenLabs. So once you log into ElevenLabs, the first thing you want to do is click on the Voices tab in the top left corner. That's where you'll find a whole list of voices you can play around with and click on any one of them to hear how they sound. You can find good voices like that, but for me, I just like to use the filters tool instead. So I'm going to set it to a British accent and make sure it's a young man. But most importantly, make sure to choose high quality voices, because these are the ones that sound so realistic you can't tell if it's AI. So once your filters are set, scroll through the results until you find a voice you like. When you do, just click on Use Voice right here. Now all that's left is to paste your script in the box, click Generate, and then download the final voiceover. And just like that, you've got your voiceover ready, which means now it's time to move on to editing the actual video. The step is going to be separated into two parts. The first part is making the visuals for the video using Canva. As you can see in the videos from this channel and the others, they all use these simple, clean animated visuals, and we're going to recreate that exact look. The second part is editing everything together in one full video using CapCut. So let's start with the visuals. First, log into your Canva account, start a new design, and make sure to set the ratio the same as this one right here. Basically, we're going to build the video frame by frame inside Canva, and then later we'll group all those visuals together into a full video. Don't worry, this won't take long since all we're really doing here is dragging and dropping stuff. So, to start, drop in the character you generated earlier using ChatGPT, just like this. That way, the video keeps the same exact style that these channels use. Next, we're going to add some PNG elements on the sides to help visually explain what the script is saying. To do that, just make sure you're actually following the script while designing. So when we add the voiceover later in CapCut, it all lines up properly. For example, here I'm talking about American history. So I searched America in the Elements tab, dragged a few graphics, and dropped them into the page. It doesn't have to be history stuff specifically, you get the idea. Just search for things that relate to whatever part of the script you're on and drop them in. Now let's add some text on top of it all and make the scene complete. Click the text tab, then add heading, and write a quick line that explains what's going on in that frame. Customize the font, make it bold and clean, and resize everything so it looks perfect. Now just repeat the same process every other frame in your video. Start a new page at the bottom, add your character, drag in new elements, and throw in some text. After a few minutes, you should have a bunch of designs just like these, and all I did was repeat the process. Also, make sure you generate a few extra character images using ChatGPT. That way your viewers don't get bored seeing the same image over and over. Now, once all your visuals are ready, just download everything as PNGs. Click the download button, make sure all pages are selected, and save them to your device. Now, let's move into CapCut to actually edit the full video together. Open CapCut, start a new project, and import all your assets. The PNGs from Canva in your voiceover file. Then, just place everything onto the timeline in the right order. First, drop in your images one by one in the order they appear in your script. Next, put the voiceover under everything. Now, before we move on, there's something super important that most people miss. A lot of beginners leave in all the dead pauses in the voiceover, and that completely kills the flow of the video. So here's what you do. Zoom in on the timeline, find those awkward pauses, and use the cut tool to slice them out and delete them. Repeat that for all the other dead spaces, and it will make your video way better and less boring. Next, go through each part and make sure every visual matches what the voiceover is saying at that moment. If a visual is shorter than the audio, just stretch it out a bit. If it's too long, trim it down to match the voiceover timing. Once I do that for every section, the video ends up looking something like this. Now, as you can tell, it still feels a little flat and boring, so to fix that, we're going to add some sound effects. But don't worry, I already did the hard part for you. I made a full free sound effects pack with all the sounds I used in this tutorial. You can download it using the link below and use the exact sounds that I used to make this video feel way more alive. After I added all the sound effects and cleaned everything up, here's what the final version looks like.
Horse, cold, always cold, even when warm. Horse, still cold. Cold war, not cold like
It looks super
ice,
clean and we
but
didn't
cold
spend a
like
single
sun.
dollar to make it. Now, there's just one final piece to this whole process. Without it, even the best video won't get views and make you money at all. And that is the thumbnail of your video. Luckily for us though, the thumbnails in this niche are so simple we can just use ChatGPT again to make them for us. So simply go ahead to the step-by-step document and download this thumbnail so you can put it into ChatGPT as an example of the style. Then copy and paste this next prompt that will basically help you generate a thumbnail with a similar style using your own character. So make sure to paste the character image here too. And finally, make sure to fill in the blank by telling ChatGPT what your video is about, just like this. So after all this and waiting for a couple of minutes, ChatGPT will give you something like this. Now just copy and paste that into Canva, then resize it to fit a thumbnail just like I did here. And to make sure we're not leaving a blank in this corner, we're going to add some stars or flags just like this. So resize everything, then download the final design as a PNG, and just like that, you now have a full video ready to be uploaded and go viral. Sadly though, this method doesn't work overnight, if I'm being honest. I won't guarantee like those gurus that you will upload this video and start making money next week. But what I guarantee you, however, is that if you do this right and keep uploading consistently, success is a no-brainer. By the way, if you want to get rid of this headache of manually finding niches that could make you a couple $1,000s a month, I got a simple solution for you. I made a whole community where I basically hand you over more than 10 niches every single month that could print you anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000. And not only that, because I'm going to show you exactly how you can stand out and create content for each niche inside the program. To top it off, I'm showing you every single week the dead niches list, which is basically the list of niches you should completely avoid to not lose money like I did. Plus more guides and 4+ years of YouTube lessons to make it big and win on YouTube. If that's something that interests you, click the link below and join the community. Be quick if you're going to do that, since I'm increasing the price for every 5 people joining so I can maintain the quality of the community. That's it for today's video. See ya.